Currie Cup, 26-19 to the Bulls. I feel tired after watching this game, man. That was a proper final, and that it was close. And that's what you want from a final rather than a blowout. Now, it wasn't the prettiest game at times. It had its moments, for sure. And that's often the way finals go, because teams are looking not to lose it necessarily compared to trying to win it. But I was still really entertained. Thank goodness I didn't know the result. I had to watch it very disrupted. It was on at 2 in the morning over here in New Zealand. So I got up to watch it with my breakfast. But then I had to go out to take photos with my sister-in-law and the rest of the family because she's got a 6 or 8 month old, my nephew, and wanted to do the family photos thing, fine weather. This game gets disrupted by lightning. I come back, try to finish the game. It goes to extra time. I started this game at about, 8 in the morning and finished it. What's the time now? 2 o'clock, 2:30? Goodness me, man. What a mission. What a mission. You'd be pretty gutted if you're a Sharks fan because, boy, were you guys in the lead for a bloody long time. But the Bulls just never quite gave up. I don't think I will go through the full list of events because, man, there are a lot. It's a long game. There's some key moments. I guess the key takings for this game, as it was a final, and like both teams played like that, one of my first notes was tentative box kicking, typical of a final. I think that's true. Right? There were a lot of kicks from hand in this game. A fair few shots at goal. Neither side really had the best day with the kicking tee, but the Sharks especially will be disappointed with, I think it's like 5 kicks from the tee and 2 drop goals that Currie Bosch was not able to nail. So overall, pretty disappointing in that regard. They did go ahead 3-0, the Sharks, through the first penalty, and their breakdown work was really good. They were getting turnovers and winning penalties to breakdown. That was earning them some good pay. The Sharks did win the first scrum penalty, but I thought for the most part their scrum did look to be under a fair bit of pressure. The Bulls evened it up on 13 minutes. And there were some errors as well. Both guys kicked it out on the full from restarts when they didn't need to. The Bulls went in front on 22 to make it 6-3 with another penalty. And that's when the game gets delayed with the Lightning. Now, because I was watching it on demand, I was kind of able to fast forward through all the ads and the Indungani and Matfield chatting away to kill the time. But I did get the key point, which was if it gets to halftime and the game gets called off due to lightning, then the result will stand. But at that time, it wasn't yet halftime. So it was still kind of just waiting for things to clear up. When play resumed, again, it was a bit touchy. The Bulls managed to get... the Sharks got the first penalty. Long kick from Bosch, and you're thinking he's been off the field. He's not been kicking that well. But he nailed that really hard one to make it 6 apiece. The Bulls got the next one, though. After the Bulls had like the best attacking period of play of the game. They went close, but Hendricks eventually got high tackled, so they kicked the penalty pretty close out to make it 9-6. The first try of the game was in Nkossi's one, and it was probably the try of the game. The Bulls kick a restart out on the full. I wrote shake my head on that one, but I thought the break probably didn't help because there were a few errors after the break with the Lightning. And from the resulting scrum, the scrum move goes to Hendricks, who draws some men in, gets it to Fussy, and he's able to get it out to Nkossi. Nkossi eyes his man, takes one step on the outside. I think it's Hendricks trying to come across. And Nkossi gets himself airborne, puts it down in a really athletic, proper try, deserving of a winner's medal, but not to be. No emotion on his face. Nkossi is always the ultimate poker player. You wouldn't know he just scored a try in the final. You look like he, just ordered his lunch at the food court kind of thing. 13 points to 9. The Sharks go in front. And that's half-time. The possession's pretty even, 51-49 to the Sharks. Penalties conceded is 5-4, with the Bulls conceding one more. Handling errors is 5-2. Missed tackles is 1-7, with the Sharks missing 7. That might be a bit costly. 24 kicks from hand in that first half. Kind of talks to how tentative and not willing to really throw it around the teams were, or there was a bit more in that second period of the first half. Second half, Bosch slots another penalty from his own half to make it 16-9. And that was Thomas du Toit. He won a couple of penalties at the breakdown. Like, he's really good like that for a prop. So kudos to him, another guy who had a pretty good effort. Also got another one for the Sharks, but that one from Bosch went wide. Eventually, the Sharks got their biggest lead of the game. They had another chance for 3, a line-out penalty conceded by the Bulls. They take it, the Sharks, to make it 19 points to 9. That's the final score for the Sharks. They don't get any more points than that. That's on 53 minutes. 10 points down, the game, the way it's going. Doesn't quite seem insurmountable, but it's a big effort for the Bulls to get back from there because points have been pretty hard to come by. I wrote a few notes about the Sharks getting some key turnovers under some pressure from the Bulls winning scrum penalties. At one point, they tried to set up like a midfield maul, which was like a bit of ingenious kind of Jake White, reminiscent of Rassie Erasmus with the Springboks move, and it did manage to win them a penalty because the Sharks collapsed it. And from there, that one sets up Dwayne Vermeulen to take a tap 5 meters out, and 2 phases later, Arno Botha is over for the try at last. The Bulls get that first try on the board. And it makes it 16 points to 19 with the conversion. And it's game on. Game on, man. The Bulls were probably the first team to elect to not just slot the threes. That one was Dwayne kind of taking the bull by the horns. The game by the horns, whatever you want to call it. And, putting a stamp on the game. Currie Bosch tried a drop goal in 66 minutes and he missed it. And Morné Steyn replied with a huge touch finder because Morné Steyn is the guy who caught the missed drop kick. And man, did he make them pay for it with a huge kick for touch. The Sharks, eventually on 68 minutes, they went into like, we're going to turn down threes as well. They went for a line out, they won a penalty, they went for touch, they mauled it, the backs got in there, they got advantage, they had a line out again. Third line out, which is 5 meters out, they get short armed. I'm assuming, or was it like a dummy at the line out, like he faked the throw? It was a weird one, and the Sharks just coughed up the ball after building all that pressure. They just threw it all away. They would have knocked it on anyway because they did start the play and they knocked it on, so it wasn't going to amount to anything anyway. But yeah, 74, Kerwin misses another drop goal attempt. 78, Chris Smith, who's come on for Morné Steyn, slots a penalty for the Bulls to make it 19 apiece. And he's got a chance to win it from a Bulls maul. And we didn't see a lot of the Bulls maul, which was much talked up in the lead up to this game. On 81 minutes, he's got a chance to win it. He drop goal attempts it with advantage, but he misses that, and then he gets a penalty to do the same, and he misses that as well. As I go to the second page of notes, which was pretty rare. Extra time, Bosch misses a penalty. Story of the game. Bosch missing penalties. Smith missed another one, though, a few minutes later. So it was 19 points apiece for the entire 10 minutes of that first half of extra time. And with about 2 minutes to go in the second half of extra time, that man, Arno Botha, not long back from his time with Munster, the Bulls go like 19 phases, man. They finally really start to put the squeeze on the Sharks, who are maybe looking a bit tired. He crashes and reaches out to score a try to make it 26-19. It's so close to the finish of the game that by the time the conversion gets kicked over, it is game over. The initial celebrations are muted. The guys are just on the floor, absolutely exhausted. I felt tired, as I mentioned, after that game. Man, there was a lot to it. They said it was the first Currie Cup win for the Bulls since 2009, which is a long time between drinks. So absolutely congratulations to them. It's been a hell of a season. The Bulls finished with 58% possession in territory. They had 325 run meters to 230, which is not a lot in the scheme of things, but that's with the extra time as well. Like Bristol the other day, who absolutely tore Bath a new one in the Premiership, had like 700. And Bath, who were terrible, had like 130 or something. So 325 to 230 is low, but again, it's a final where the teams are playing not to lose, maybe then to just spin it around. Defenders beaten though, 24-5 to the Bulls. Clean breaks 9-1. The Bulls clearly more dangerous. The tackling, the Bulls only missed 3 tackles the whole game, whereas the Sharks missed 23. So yeah. Goal kicking, 50% for the Sharks, 67 for the Bulls, 6 from 9, 5 from 10. I don't think that includes the drop goals either, so it's even worse if you include the drop goals. Likewise, the line out for the Sharks, 10 from 15, is poor. Whereas the Bulls were a solid 9 from 9, but the Sharks were that worried about the Bulls' maul. They just weren't contesting, so the Bulls were almost getting a free pass at line-out time. So, what do you say, man? Bosch with the missed kicks, Sharks with the poor line-out, but the great breakdown work, man. On another day, that Sharks breakdown, if Kerwin Bosch goes, 10 from 10, this doesn't get to extra time. The Sharks win it pretty comfortably. But yeah, Thomas Dutoy, as I mentioned, pretty good. Dwayne Vermeulen was everywhere. Notch tried to make himself busy, and Kossi, when he did get the ball, was looking dangerous. The Sharks, the Bulls outside backs as well, were also looking pretty dangerous at times too. But man, there you go. Handling errors 9 to 11. Lightning interrupted game. There you go. Currie Cup final for, I guess it's still, someone mentioned in the preview, it's still technically the 2020 Currie Cup. So finishes in January 2021. Congratulations to the Bulls. The guys looked absolutely chuffed to win it. Like, I'm glad that it still seemed to be really meaningful for those guys. They looked absolutely overjoyed to kind of come back and win this one from 10 points down. The Sharks guys looked absolutely distraught. So, yeah, it's hard to be ahead for most of the game, miss some chances and just see it slip away, but that's what happens if you don't put those kind of nails in the coffin. But yeah, as I said, like, it wasn't necessarily the prettiest game, but that's often the way finals go. But if you didn't know the result, you probably couldn't help but being on the edge of your seat. I was certainly on the edge of mine just because it could have gone either way right till the death. But anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts on this one. Bulls, deserved winners. Are they going to be the team to beat in South Africa going forward with all their big name signings and Jake White in charge? The Sharks, though, certainly do have a lot of talent who is, in terms of age, maybe a wee bit younger than the Bulls guys, and maybe future prospects are also looking pretty bright. Anyway, congrats to the Bulls. Commiserations, Sharks. You guys let me know your thoughts. Talk to you again soon. See you later.